Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Hearthstone deck Spotlight. My name is Tommy Wave, and today we'll be taking a look at Boomtjallah's Big Rogue. We've played a lot of Big Rogue lately, mostly in the wild format, so it's a deck that I love. I just love cheating big things into play and not being very fair about it. In case you haven't seen Big Rogue before, it mostly focuses on Necrium Blade, and in particular Cavern Shiny Finder, to make sure you almost always have a Necrium Blade on turn 3. We're then going to use attack with the Necrium Blade on turn 3 usually, hopefully trade into something, and then on turn 4 when we drop our Kobold Illusionist, we can attack with our Necrium Blade, trigger the death rattle of the Kobold Illusionist, and hopefully we can drop, preferably a Silver Vanguard into play, but maybe a Mechanical Whelp, maybe even a Lich King, something like that. And then once the Mechanical Whelp dies, we get a 7/7. If the Silver Vanguard dies, we get a Lich King, a Charged Devilsaur, stuff like that. Some big huge thing which will hopefully be able to take over the board and lead us to a victory. Obviously in Wild we have amazing 8-drops like not only Lich King but Ragnaros and other huge things. In Standard not so much, but there's still some interesting options. Got a lot of cards that we haven't tried out before. Most like Roll the Bones here. I've never played Roll the Bones in this kind of rogue before. We've also got some Blight Nozzle Crawlers, which we've played around a bit with like Death Rattle Rogue and Even Rogue. This one has 2 cubes and 2 Necrium Vials and a Ziliax, which is a massive commitment to the mid game. And I think one of the things I like most about Big Rogue is that we don't have to mess around so much with the mid game. We just we can play just the pieces that we want to play, and it lets us have a bit more early game interaction to make sure we don't die to the early game decks, to the aggro decks. Most of these decks will have the 2 backstabs, the 2 saps rather than the 1. Probably the 2 eviscerates. Also, we usually see cards like Fan of Knives, which I think is kind of lacking in this deck. Especially, we have the Blood Mage Thalnos in here. I'd love to see two Fan of Knives in here, maybe over the place of like one of the Necrium Vials and this Ziliax. It makes our preparations a lot better as well, as right now we can only really prep out these 2 Vials, and it doesn't really feel good prepping a 2-mana spell usually, but just something to keep in mind. The only other thing that I want to mention about the deck is, as far as the 8-drops go, I think I'd rather see the 2nd Charged Devilsaur in here rather than the 2nd Deranged Doctor, just because the Devilsaur does have an immediate impact on board, usually quite strong. It's obviously a little bit worse if we, Kobold Illusionist out a 1/1 Devilsaur. Stone Tusk Boar usually doesn't win the game in this deck. But I still think that it's worth having a bit more upside on our Silver Vanguards, as if we're going to put so much effort into it, we may as well get a big upside. Other than that, I think there's a lot of things to be excited about for, and we're going to take this into some ranked play, onto some ladder, and see how we go. So let's do it. Okay, here we are with the Big Rogue from Boomtjalah. We've got a hand here. I think we want to keep this Illusionist and make sure that we hit our Necrium Blade. I think we can always have more shots at drawing some big thing. There's a lot of replaceable big threats in here, but making sure that we have the Illusionist and the Blade is the most important. So didn't get it, unfortunately, but we do have the cube, which means we might be able to get this off against some kind of odd mage, though. Levels are good. The schemes seem really cool. Yeah. I just want to cast Madame Lazul's all day. Yeah, I think the schemes are really interesting. And I really like the idea of lackeys. And I like the idea of lackeys kind of changing over time. Ooh, this is a Shiny Finder. Part of me wants to coin a dagger. Dagger this. Next turn we can Shiny Finder, maybe dagger something else down. And then we've got our Necrium Blade on 3, so I think we'll do that.
Here we go.
Also lets us keep our backstab, which we might be able to combine with this dagger, or maybe with the Necrium Blade to take something down. Flow Rare. I'm good, thank you. Debating on which pre-order to go with. I should probably go with the 80 pack. Now's the time to invest with the major meta overhaul. Yeah, I would always err on the side of, you know, if you're going to drop some money, drop some good money, especially for the first set in the cycle. I think it's understandable to maybe not cheap out, but you know, consider your budget, your personal budget a bit more, especially when it comes to like the second or third set in a cycle.
No shinies.
Do we use the dagger? Yeah,
Here
sure.
we go.
Who knows? But yeah, I think going for like a big purchase for these cards that are going to be around for 2 years, they're going to be really important for the next 3, 6, 9 months. Okay, our opponent's not offering up any kind of trade,
Here
but
we go.
6 damage here. Fortunately, no big upside card is unfortunate, but given we have 2 illusionists in hand, I think if we do pick up another upside card like a Silver Vanguard or something, we're very likely to be able to at some point get it into play, over the next 2 turns maybe. I think this Necrim Vial could be pretty cool. Black Guttle. Ooh, okay. Well, question is that explosive runes? And if it is, do we care? Probably not. We might even get a second illusionist out of it. Wow, it's not.
Here we go.
Counterspell then? Nice, that was a good hit. Yeah, it could be counterspell. So we can kind of try and run a backstab into something. But this board's pretty resistant to board clears. If our opponent has a Blast Wave or a Dragon's Fury, I think they'll probably be furious if we if they if they kill this, we get a 7/7 and it pops out another Mechanical Whelp.
I wonder.
Ooh. Okay. What do we get? What's in the box? A cube! I think we will just go for a cube this turn. We might cube this Mechanical Whelp. Munch. We could cube a cube. Gives it a bit more up, like, makes this cube kind of do something. As we'll have a bunch of 4/6s in this 4/6. But yeah, I'm excited for the hidden, the forbidden cards as well. GG, opponent straight out of here. GG's. Okay, here we are with the big rogue again. I will keep this Necrium Blade just as a bit of a hedge. Ideally, we'd rather have Cavern Shiny Finder with it, but if this is a particularly aggressive hunter, I think we'd rather have a weapon rather than not. That's an alright draw. Moogie, what's going on? Dusty boy. Am I Dusty? Are you saying I'm Dusty? Hero for fun. I'm playing this deck too, it's pretty fun. Yeah, it's really good. Just playing some standard Death Rattle, Big Rogue. I'm enjoying it. Ooh, Headhunter's Hatchet without a 1-drop. I do want this card draw. Ooh. Ooh! Spoiled for choice.
Here we go.
Yeah, this is pretty fun. Honestly, Big Rogue is just a fantastic deck, and I think especially towards the end of these expansions, No! I'm much more interested in playing like fun decks.
Monsters behind
Yeah, let's take this out.
Here we go.
What do we get?
Monsters behind you.
Monsters behind you. Turn 5, 8 drop hours. Yeah, but between this deck and the quest druid we played, a lot of fun. Oh, the Ziliax as well. If our opponent doesn't kill this Kobold Illusionist, and we don't draw a... Ooh, Razor Maw. Alright, that's fine. Hopefully they don't kill our 1-1 Kobold Illusionist. We can not draw... Okay, that's good. So we can go... Ziliax. So now when this dies, we're either get a reset or we get a Silver Vanguard. Let's see what happens, please. Silver Vanguard. Yeah, we'll trade. Monsters behind you. I feel you, man. Haven't played a meta deck since last year. It's definitely that end of expansion, especially right next to rotation. It's that like, ugh, it's just the sloth, the feeling is like, oh, I don't want to play a meta deck. Wow. All right, let's see what happens. Ooh. Pick your poison. We get to Necrom Vial, whatever. This doesn't, whatever they don't do. Okay. What do we got? Ooh, some good ones. Woo! Tremendous. Give me some of those Tommy Wave death rays in the chat. GG.
Back.
Okay, you with the big rogue again. Keep the Cavern Shiny, find us everything else back. Let's find that Kobold Illusionist and maybe a Boom Boom. Alright. Rather have 2 Shiny Finders than 2 Necrom Blades. Nomi looks decent. It'll require a meme rogue deck, but it has some synergies. Yeah, I mean, I think there's also the potential we get like a... there's also the potential we get some kind of like fair-ish Mechathune deck where like the goal is to kind of hit your like hit Nomi, try and kill them with that, and then if that doesn't work, have Mechathune as a backup plan. I think that's a kind of interesting thought.
Thank you. What if...
Opponent is getting a sandwich. And that's okay. Something about Myra's into Nomi's into Shuffle. Yeah, I think that I think that could be interesting. Myra's just lost so much power with the nerf to Cold Blood. But then again, without odd or even in the format, maybe it's just a bit more of a fair rogue rather than an odd rogue with Myra's as a awesome win condition. Let's just thin this deck out. We get punished if our next draw is a Kobold Librarian, but Kobold Illusionist rather. You still have 3 mana 4/4 and rogues insane classic set to use. Yeah, for sure. I guess that's the thing. Rogue especially was the deck that had Acolyte of Pain. What is our opponent doing? Rogue especially was the punished. I think I'm actually gonna coin out this Thalnos too, just to make sure if we do drop the Illusionist, like hopefully we can trade this off first. But I really don't want to Illusionist and then have it be a Thalnos. We lose so much value from that. Yeah, I think Rogue especially was the class that had, you know, Moonfire me? Yeah. A lot of odd and even decks. So it will be cool to see what happens with the post-rotation. Alright, let's get elusive. That was a bad draw, unfortunately.
Monsters
Here
behind
we
you.
go.
Now we have the potential to hit it off the Illusionist. No, we didn't. This is good. Unless our opponent recycles one of these. This guy does not know how to play Mechathune. Ah, who knows? Might be their first time. You know, rank 9. It's kind of the time to try things. Do we Necroom Vial or do we Cube? I think we want a Necroom Vial. Yes. In fact, maybe we prep Necroom Vial and then play the Blade. Those are the good ones.
Punch first. Here we go.
Alright, Fiend. How about you? Ooh, Obliterate. Poison Seeds me. That's what the card that I'm most excited for. I really want Treant Druid to be a thing. I want to get Poison seeded. Get my seeds poisoned.
The red one tastes like cherries.
Can we kill our opponent? I think we can kill them, right? Maybe? Oh no, we have this deranged doctor, which means we won't be able to. We could have cubed the Devil's Aura and tried to go for it. We can obliterate it, right? So how much is this? This is 15, 18. Our opponent's on 33, 18. Cube, obliterate. It's 32. Put our opponent on 1. Can't punish a cube with Mechathune. Doesn't have a silence. Alright, I'm going to trust you on that one. Oh, actually, we can get lucky and kill our opponent. Because we can cube first. And then go for the 50-50. Ah! Woo! Ah! Got him. Yeah, just win the coin flips. It's easy. Alright, well those were some really quick games. But let's take a look at the big rogue. I think whilst our performance was fantastic, we got quite lucky. But we had some good matchups, had some good games as well. I still think we can kind of tune this a little bit. We didn't really get to see the upside of Blight Nozzle Crawler, but what we did see is that, particularly in this version as opposed to the wild versions, we did have to work a little more to get the upside of Cobalt Illusionist, because we do have some whiffs in the deck. And I think we've seen Wild, because that deck also sometimes plays Barnes, it really wants to minimize the amount of just bad minions to get from those effects. So, you know, it typically only plays Cavern Shiny Finder as the misses in the deck. So I think I'd love to, like, if the Blood Mage Thalnos has to stay here, I really want to get some Fan of Knives in. I think we might not need this Ziliax. Like I said, there's some changes I'd like to make and experiment with. But look, honestly, this deck is fantastic. Big shout out to Boomtjalah for coming up with the list, I assume. Because it's really fun. And you know what? The best way to play Hearthstone is with a fun deck that's also pretty powerful. So if you are watching this video on YouTube, of course, links are in the description, including link over to the Hearthstone deck article. Please jump over there, give Boomtjalah a +1, and leave a lovely thoughtful comment, like I know you will. Let them know if you've been killing people with this deck. Oh, that's the other thing. I'd love to get another Charged Devils in here. My links will be in the description as well. Tommy_Wave on Twitter, Tommy_Wave on Twitch. Come watch me miss lethal and get lucky live on Twitch. But until next time, please stay safe, stay wavy, eat the rich, and cube the rich. Bye. I hope you enjoyed that video. Check out other ones over here, or come subscribe to the Wave Pool for more excellent times.